Somehow, we are already at the beginning of a new month, which means it is time to play TBR Bakery for the month of October. So for the month of October, I was going to make a separate video, but I think I'm just going to include it here. Probably at the end of the video, we'll see how many of the books that I can fit on this TBR, and then I'll go through what I have left. But I am once again participating in Trick-or-treatathon. It is a bingo board based readathon that's mostly hosted on Discord, and it kind of trickles onto Instagram as well. I believe the creator is just a bookstagrammer, not a booktuber, so it's not so much on BookTube, it's mostly over on those two platforms, but I will just go over my TBR at the end of the video. But I do have a selection of books that I'm going to be trying to fit onto TBR Bakery that will also work for Trick-or-treatathon prompts. I will have the Discord for it linked down below for you guys if any of you are interested in participating. It also is team-based, and I think the last day to sign up is October 6th, if I am not mistaken. So yeah, all that stuff will be down in the description below, but let's just get started with this because I don't want this video to be too long. Last month was rough. The gameplay was rough. The TBR ended up not being so rough. So let's just go over it, see how I did, and then we will get into this month's rolls. Okay, so here is the TBR. I had the blade itself for a punishment Wheel of Shame spin. I did not read that. I had Shield of Sparrows for a Cooper pick. I did read that. This is A Killing Cold by Kate Alice Marshall. I had that for a thriller, and I'm still working on that. By the end of the month, I should be done with it, or at least close enough that I'm going to call it done. Things We Never Got Over by Lucy Score for a Higher or Lower with a D20, and I did read that. And The Surgeon's Wife for an Unhaul Project book. I didn't get to that. So of the actual core TBR 4, I read 3, but that's not good enough to win the game. So I will be spinning the punishment wheel. That being said, that is absolutely the best that I've done on a TBR in a really long time, and I have Magical Readathon to thank for that because the 3 books that I read were for Magical Readathon. So while I pull up my wheel and everything, I'm just going to explain to you, if you are new here, the TBR Wheel of Shame is all of the books that have been on past TBRs that I haven't read or like made significant progress in. I put on a wheel and I spin it and I get 1 book. If I can fit it into the prompts for the month, great. If I can't, it's just an additional book that I have to read. I have already added the books that I did not read for September on here, which were, I put The Blade Itself, The Surgeon's Wife, and I also put The Purple Violet of Oshantu, which is a book that I did not read for Magical Readathon. It wasn't on my TBR Bakery TBR, but I do want to keep it on the top of mind. Like, I want to read it eventually, so I put that on here too, just because. So let me record my screen and we'll see what I get. All right, here we go. Okay, funny. All right. So it is Happy Place. That is funny because that is the book that I ended up removing because my end spot was remove a prompt for September. So I ended up removing Happy Place, but it was on there from a previous month. Okay, so Happy Place is the TBR Wheel of Shame book. If I can fit it into a prompt, great. If I can't, it is an additional book for the month of October. Okay, so I believe that is all of the housekeeping stuff. So let's just get right into the rolls for October. Roll 1 is a 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. A cake slice. Resurrect a series. For this, I'm going to use one of the books that I have in for prompt for Trick-or-treatathon. And the prompt for Trick-or-treatathon is found footage, and it's some sort of like graphic novel, manga, poetry collection, like something like that. Some sort of like not a regularly formatted novel. And for that, I'm using a manga, and I'm going to use Wolf Girl and Black Prince Volume 4. So this is a resurrected series for me because I haven't touched it in probably 5 or 6 months. So I think that definitely counts as resurrecting a series that I haven't touched in a while. So that should be a quick win for TBR Bakery and for Trick-or-treatathon and for me in general. So perfect. This is going great so far. I hope I didn't just jinx it. Roll 2 is a 3. 1, 2, 3. We have a donut. And it is pick 3, choose 1. Okay, so I just grabbed the top 3 books off of my kind of like, I want to fit these on my TBR, but they're not in my Trick-or-treatathon TBR. So those are Valor by John Gwynne, The Sword of Kaigan by M.L. Wong, and Kiss of the Night by Sherilyn Kenyon. So these are 3 books that before, like prior to filming, I had kind of a stack that I was like, these are books that I'm kind of in the middle of or that I want to prioritize for the month that aren't on my Trick-or-treatathon TBR. And okay, it's still early days, and last month the game was very rough on me, so I think I'm just gonna pick Kiss of the Night by Sherilyn Kenyon. This is a book that I have borrowed from one of my coworkers, and she gave it to me like a few months ago at this point, I think, and I haven't touched it, so it's the right season for it. I mean, more than anything, it's just probably a spicy good time, but they are kind of like dark hunters or kind of like vampires. It's paranormal, so it's in the theme of the season. So yeah, we're gonna go with Kiss of the Night by Sherilyn Kenyon for pick 3, choose 1. Perfect. Roll 3 is a 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry. Oh gosh. A female author. I was a little drunk there when I was moving my little moving piece. You know what it is? It's because I was looking through like my phone to move the piece, and I like didn't realize that the board ended. So I was like, where is the thing? And then I had to, whatever. Okay, so I got a donut. It's female author. For this, I'm going to go with The Songbird and the Heart of Stone. I am not finished with this yet. I was reading it in, I think, August, and then I just never picked it up again because I was busy with Magical Readathon. So we are going to put The Songbird and the Heart of Stone on the TBR again. It is, in fact, a female author. It's by Carissa Broadbent, and I am excited to get back to this. That also would have been a great place to put Happy Place, but it's okay. It might just be an extra book. Roll 4. Ooh, a 6. Oh no. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No! 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 What is the curse of the burnt batch? Like, I don't understand why I've been hitting this spot every single month. Okay, so we have to scrap Wolf Girl and Black Prince, Kiss of the Night, and Songbird and the Heart of Stone. They all got burnt. Now, for this, if this is your first TBR Bakery, I'm sorry, I didn't really explain the rules. Hopefully it's pretty self-explanatory, but the burnt batch spot means that I have to throw out the TBR. In the story of the bakery, the baker was not paying attention. They were not doing their job properly, and they ended up burning an entire oven full of stuff, like the entire order that they were working on. They burnt the whole thing. We have to throw it away, start over. You do not sell to your customers burnt product, so we will not be keeping those books. Now, depending on the month, the prompts that I get, how much I want to read a book, I say that it's okay for me to save one book. Let's try to limit it to one book. Last month was a bit of a month, so I did, I think, save 2 books because one of them got burnt again. So then I think after like the 3rd burnt batch or something, I allowed myself to save one of the other books. But in general, on your, like in your average month, I'm gonna say I can only really save one. So that might come into play, it might not. It depends on what prompts I get from here on out, how the game goes. But for now, we are scrapping the 3 books that we have on the TBR. They got burnt, they're going away, and we're going back to the beginning. That being said, we do keep Happy Place because that was baked separately. The punishment book is always baked separately. Okay, so I moved us back to the beginning, and let's start over. 2. 1, 2. It is a cupcake. A nonfiction book. Okay, so for nonfiction, I am going to reuse The Surgeon's Wife. Not reuse as in like it was burnt, but reuse from last month. The Surgeon's Wife, it is a true story of obsession, rage, and murder. I don't know anything about this. Again, I think I read some of the synopsis on the back last month, but basically I think this like rich surgeon killed his wife. We'll see how that went down, I guess. It wasn't on my radar, like I pulled it out of this jar last month, but then once I had it, I was like, this does sound interesting, like I would like to read this. I'm getting a little bit more into true crime, like 10 years after everybody else, but yeah. But I also forgot I was supposed to pick one of these. This is just my unread physical TBR. The colors correspond to genres, but that doesn't really matter for this. I mean, it doesn't really matter in general, I just like to have an idea of what I'm getting into. When I pick it out of the jar, but when I get a burnt batch, I pick one of these. So I guess the other thing I could do is spin the wheel of shame, but whatever, it doesn't really matter. It's a punishment book either way. Green, I don't know what green is, but there you go. I think it goes this way. Frenchman's Creek. Oh, I think this is by Daphne du Maurier. All right, let me go get it. It was downstairs. It is indeed by Daphne du Maurier. It says, Lady Donna St. Colombe is beautiful, headstrong, and bored. Desperate to escape the pomp and ritual of the Restoration Court, she retreats to the hidden creeks and secret woods of a family estate at Navron in Cornwall. Though renowned for her passionate engagement with life, privately she yearns for freedom, integrity, and love, whatever the cost. The peace Lady Donna craves, however, eludes her from the moment she stumbles across the mooring place of a white-sailed ship that plunders the Cornish coast. And as she becomes embroiled in a plot to steal another ship from under the nose of the English authorities, she realizes that her heart is under siege from the French philosopher-pirate Jean Aubry. Okay, I was thinking that this might have been a good pick. I was thinking maybe it's like a thriller, but that doesn't necessarily sound very thrillery. So whatever. I bought this at Savers a few years back and kind of never thought of it again. So I guess we'll see how that goes. Another pick that I would not have, it wouldn't have been on my radar for the month. All right, let's get into the next roll. I believe this is roll 6. Oh, it is a 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. A cupcake. 100 book bucket list challenge. Okay, so this is the 100 book bucket list. It's basically just a bunch of different books, mostly I feel like classics and modern classics. What do I want to read from here? You know what? I think I'm gonna go with Dracula. Okay, so for the 100 book bucket list challenge, I cannot talk today. This is not a great day to be filming, apparently. I'm gonna go with Dracula. I'm pretty sure that's what I picked last time this card came up too, but 'tis the season. It's been on my radar recently. I've put it on a couple of TBRs and just haven't gotten to it, but what better month for the kind of like one of the original vampire stories than October? It's very seasonally appropriate. So that's, I think, the best choice for the 100 book bucket list. Roll 7. Is a 2. 1, 2. We have a cake slice. Oh, I'm gonna have to refill those. Way back TBR 2019-2020. So basically something that's been on my Goodreads TBR since 2019 or 2020. Okay, so for this one, I am going to use An Absolutely Remarkable Thing by Hank Green. This I added to my Goodreads TBR on April 16th, 2020. I bought it a lot more recently than that, but basically we are following a 23-year-old girl who stumbles across a giant sculpture, like a 10-foot tall transformer wearing a suit of samurai armor. April and her best friend Andy make a video with it, which Andy uploads to YouTube. The next day, April wakes up to a viral video and a new life. I guess the giant sculptures are called Carls. I don't know. Okay, yeah, I want to read this, so this is what I'm going to choose for my way back TBR. Do roll 8 is a 2, 1, 2. Nice, a coffee break, so we just move right on to roll 9, a 3. 1, 2, 3. Of course it's cake. I haven't done my cake cards, so okay, great. Okay, so I have all of my cake cards here. I'm just gonna do a quick shuffle so I and you cannot see them. And then we'll just pick one and the rest will go on the board. Okay. So cake is, you can see it first. Okay, roll a d8. So I have to go back to the board, roll a d8. If it's even, I get to move forward. If it's odd, I have to move backwards. Given my luck with this game the past few months, I will probably be moving backwards, but let's see what happens. Okay, so here I have my d8 and let's see. A 2! I actually get to... Are you kidding me right now? Are you kidding me? What is happening with this game? I hit the burnt batch again. I was so happy. I got a 2. I was like, yay, I don't have to move backwards. Okay. So these books as well got burnt. I need the jar again. I'm gonna pick this one. Another green. Isn't this the same color the other one was? Oh, and by the way, this one stays as well. Okay, well, I have Little Women, and the way this game is going, it's making me sad, so I picked up this book and something made me happy, so I'm gonna share that with you. I got this book from my dad. Happy birthday, love Dad. Seeing that made me happy. So at least there's that. That being said, he got this for me when I was very young, probably like 12, maybe 13. And I've still never read it. Don't tell my dad. Yeah, I've never read Little Women, but it is a 502-page book that is getting added to the TBR. So, great. And we are going back to the beginning again. And in case you didn't catch that, I put Frenchman's Creek back on there. I think if I pull it out of the jar for a burnt batch, it should just stay. Like, because that was a punishment, that wasn't something that I baked. So I think that needs to stay with Happy Place. So now I have 3 books for sure on the TBR, and we haven't even started the game yet, basically. Okay. We are back at the beginning for roll 10. A 3. 1, 2, 3. A donut. A hyped book. Because we're back at the beginning and I'm annoyed, I think for a hyped book, I'm gonna put The Hacienda. It is a book that I have on my Trick-or-treatathon TBR. And also, I feel like people talked about it a lot when it came out. And if they didn't, I don't want to know about it. I'm putting it on there for hyped, so. I believe this is a horror book. But beyond that, I don't really know much about it. I just want to read it, so. That's it. Roll 11 is a 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A cupcake. Outside of comfort zone. So this is gonna be pretty weird, but bear with me. When I was in grade school and my first year of college, I took French. And at one point I was pretty fluent in French, but I have since not used it, so I feel like I've lost a lot of it. So I am going to put Le Petit Prince on here for Out of Comfort Zone. It is the French version, and I am not comfortable reading French anymore. But I would like to brush up on it, which is why this ended up on my TBR cart instead of the shelf downstairs where it was before. I don't know how much of this I will understand, because when I say it's been a long time, it's been a long time. So this is definitely out of my comfort zone. It is not a language that I am comfortable reading in currently, but it is short, so hopefully it won't be too painful. Hopefully. Roll 12. 3. 1, 2, 3. A donut. A new release. For new release, I'm going to use the Heartbreak Hotel. I can't tell you who wrote it. It's gonna be here. I do own this book. I picked it for a book of the month for September, I believe. It is on my Trick-or-treatathon TBR, but I don't remember anything about it. But it should be a new release. It was my book of the month for September, so I'm going to assume it came out in September. That's new enough for me. Roll 13. We've been here before. I think I don't want a 6. I'm really scared. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. A cake slice. A TBR vet. You know I have to do it. It's been on several TBRs. It's not necessarily like a super TBR vet, but I think it's been quite a while, so we are gonna put Valor on the TBR. I've been meaning to pick it up, I just haven't. I accidentally broke the bookmark that my husband made me, but yeah. He's been bugging me about getting back into this. So yes, this is enough of a TBR vet for me. So we will be doing Valor by John Quinn. Okay, we have also been here before. So please work with me, please. Roll 14. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, and it's a coffee break. I love it. Okay. Come on, last roll. Yes! 1, 2, 3. End spot. And remove a book. Yes! Okay, awesome. Yes, I'm aware. I got this 2 months in a row. I'm not going to argue with it. I don't normally put all of the end spot cards back in, but I only had 2, so I just put them all back. I'm not, like I said, I'm not going to argue with it. And I think I know what I'm going to take off. So after the last burnt batch, we ended up with, which I'll go over them again, but mostly just me talking through what I want to take off. I have Happy Place, Little Women, Frenchman's Creek, The Hacienda, Le Petit Prince, The Heartbreak Hotel, and Valor. Okay, I want to read The Heartbreak Hotel. I want to read The Hacienda. I want to read Valor. So that leaves Le Petit Prince, Little Women, Happy Place, and Frenchman's Creek. Now, Frenchman's Creek is probably the one that I'm least interested in. However, Little Women's 500 pages. So we are going to remove Little Women from the TBR. I'm gonna save myself 500 pages. Okay, it was another rough one. But ever since we decided to throw out the books prior to the burnt batch, things have gotten more manageable. It's not as exciting for a thumbnail holding like 15 books, but it's better for my anxiety and overwhelm. So here's our stack. We have Happy Place for the TBR Wheel of Shame pick for not finishing last month's TBR. Frenchman's Creek for a burnt batch pick. We have The Hacienda for a hyped book, Le Petit Prince for an out of comfort zone pick, The Heartbreak Hotel for a new release, and Valor for a TBR vet. Okay, so I think that's 6 books total. Not too bad. One of them is teeny tiny itty bitty little guy. It is in a different language, but it's okay. We're gonna get back into the French. Yeah, so it's this, The Hacienda, and The Heartbreak Hotel. So yeah, 6 books. Not terrible. Only 2 of them are on my Trick-or-treatathon TBR, but that's okay. That's all right. We're fine. We're good. I'm just gonna go over my Trick-or-treatathon TBR with you quickly, and I will actually just put up the graphic that I have here. It has all the books on it, so you'll be able to see at a glance what I'm planning to read for that, but I will go over the numbers, like the prompts that correspond with the numbers that are next to them. So for number 46, it is Spine Tingler, and the prompt is a thriller, and for that I'm reading The Woods by Harlan Coben. Number 28 is Found Footage. That's the one that's like a graphic novel, a manga, a comic, a poetry collection, something like that. And I'm going to be reading Wolf Girl and Black Prince Volume 4. Number 24 is Campfire Stories, a book under 250 pages. For that I'm going to be reading Almost to Die For. I don't remember who that's by, but it's like a young adult paranormal. I have number 23, Calm Down. It's either a book with cozy vibes or a reread. For that I'm reading If You've Got It Haunted. It is just a cozy mystery. I think it takes place, I think the main character owns like a dress shop or something. That's all I really know about it, but I love cozy mysteries, especially in October, so there you go. Number 21, All Alone. It is a standalone. For that I'm reading The Hacienda, which I did get on this TBR, so yay. 17 is Spellbreaker, Hex in the title, and for that I'm going to read The X-Hex by something Sterling, I think. Whatever, I don't know. That's just like, I think it's a romance that's been around, like a spooky romance. Not spooky, but like a romance with magic, like witches, that's kind of been floating around for the past few years. And I keep meaning to read it, but I want to read it in October and then I never get to it, so this is the year. Number 10 is Hoodie Weather, and it's a book with autumn vibes on the cover. For that I'm reading The Heartbreak Hotel. There are like fall colored leaves floating around on the front. Number 5, Flirt with Danger, read a romance. I'm gonna read Love at First Set, which is a sapphic romance. It's a few years old at this point, I think. But it revolves around like a gym, and I think these 2 girls meet at the gym. So I like the gym, I like working out. I think it'll be a fun time. The reviews seem kind of mixed, but I'm gonna try it. And then the free space is any book, and I am going to put Heat of the Everflame in there. I am already reading it, but I am on Team Fall, and each team has like a trick and a treat. And for Team Fall, our trick is to read a book with an orange cover. And if you read a book with an orange cover, you get your treat, which is that you can use a book for the readathon that you started prior to October 1st. And for me, that is Heat of the Everflame. So I have to read Love at First Set before I can get the points for Heat of the Everflame, but I do intend to read both of them anyway, so that shouldn't be a problem. So that is everything for the month of October for TBR Bakery and Trick-or-treatathon. Let me know if you have read any of these books, if you liked them. If you didn't, let me know if you participate in Trick-or-treatathon. Like I said, it's not on YouTube, so I feel like a lot of people on YouTube don't know about it. I have participated, I believe this is my 3rd year, and I do normally mention it on my channel. So some of you guys might have heard of it if you've been around for a while. But yeah, let me know if you're gonna participate in that. It is a good time. I'm not like super active in the Discord, but it does keep me on top of my reading, which is what I really like about it. So that is gonna do it for my October TBR. Wish me luck. Like I said, it didn't end up being too bad. A couple burnt batches. You know, the bakery is going through It's going through it. We are still looking for the baker that fits our needs. But you know, these things take time sometimes. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.